Right. How did it go with your guy?
It was good. It was really good. He's so great. He took all my interviews that I did with Dave Austin's people and put them onto a podcast for me without me having to do it, which was amazing. He downloaded them all into audio and then put them onto a podcast. And
Wow.
we went through and like found parts of things I've done online and made shorts, and it was really good. Yeah. Amanda!
Hi, Amanda.
Hey,
Hey, beautiful girl. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Huh?
Well, I don't think I've seen you, Amanda, somehow since you had your operation.
I don't think so either. Because are you still in Brazil? Brazil.
Yeah, in Chile. Yeah.
Chile. Okay. I don't know why I thought Brazil. Yeah, it's been quite the road. I did too much and popped open like a little bit of a stitch and then got infected and so but then when I went and talked to the doctor, he was like it looked really because like when they do it there's like a T part where you're basically like folding like two pieces of skin together.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it's really hard for it not to break down in that area. He's like, I thought it was going to. So I think I blamed myself for it, but he's like, this is normal. You're fine. So,
Hmm.
so
Wow, it's amazing how much we blame ourselves, and then it's such a relief to be like, oh, it's normal.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So funny.
You can go into like so much making yourself wrong.
Totally. I was like, oh, I knew I should have done that. Why did I do that? And I'm like, I'm suffering because, then you're suffering because you're suffering because you're suffering. It's just so dumb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's just triple on the suffer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally relate.
Lay it on there. Yeah, but I'm
Were
like a lot
you?
more mobile, and I feel it feels better. It doesn't like hurt when I move every time. So,
Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Oh, that's been how many months was it of healing?
well, it's still not done, but I had it on July 22nd. It was like 1, 2.
July 22nd.
So this is week 7. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So are you feeling pretty back to normal, or like where are you at now?
Well, I feel much better like the last 2 days than I have the whole time. But I'm still having to wear like bandage over it because it's still open on both sides a little bit. But the pain now in comparison to how it was and it like night and day. So it's much better. But just not, 100%. That's okay.
Oh, good. Good, good,
Yeah.
good. I'm gonna just
Are you glad you did
I'm so glad. So glad.
it?
It's still not at the point where I'm like, oh, this is pretty. Because it's the scar, all that fun stuff. But it's like, wow, I feel like a weight lifted from me, and I feel like I'm not always like wanting to hunch over my posture because of it. So that's like, yeah, it's like a super relief.
Wow, congratulations. That's huge.
Thanks.
I mean, that just affects how you breathe and your confidence and all of it, right?
Yeah, like everything. For sure.
Everything. Wow.
At that stage, I went to a event, and actually, the woman who's coming to do body work at my canoe retreat was there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, just like a 1 hour session will like break up the scar tissue and get you back to complete normal." And it was like miraculous healing. She just like pushed and broke up the scar tissue,
Mm-hmm.
and I went from like this and feeling like I couldn't move to like I literally like barely ever felt any like there. I feel like a little bit of tension
Okay.
right there, but like
Yeah.
otherwise it's completely opened up my
Really?
whole chest. Yeah. So it was weird because like no one suggests doing body work or getting massage like no one suggests that to me. Like the post surgery was just like, yeah, just deal, you
Yeah.
know? But there is
But
stuff
maybe
you
have
can
to
do.
push through. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, because all along the incision on the side where the implant was still there, and he said he had to do a lot of work to get it back to where it should be because the implant was so large that along that side of the incision, it's like probably a 2-inch band along the bottom, and it's like really, it's like hard, like you can feel the scar tissue is just like
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
you
you
can
can
break
you
that
can
up.
actually massage it, and having someone else massage it is really good because she basically just like pushed down and then just like held it there until it released.
Hmm.
It was really interesting. But anyway, she's coming to my retreat, and I'm hoping to get her out to a clarity retreat soon. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe the spring one. But anyway, it's so good. Welcome, Catalina. I saw Jolene was on here, and let's go into wins. So we heard a bit about Amanda's, but Amanda, share a couple more wins.
Yeah, I think that's definitely when I'm just feeling a lot more better mentally and physically. And two, we bought our plane tickets, Dana and I.
Yeah.
And every single retreat I've ever been to, it's been like the planning has been completely like last minute and up in the air and totally rando, and I'm totally fine with, but my work not so much. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like talking to Heather about it, and I'm like, I don't know. We just need to get Dana on the phone. So we got Dana on the phone, and then we just like did the ticket right then. So I'm super excited about that. It's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
It's
That's
next
gonna be
week.
wrong.
It's in 8 days. No.
Oh,
In 9 days. So
oh,
I'm so excited.
I just can't even wait. And I just feel like everything right now is just really moving smoothly. Like, like some of those times go by and you're just like you hit a wall in every corner. And I just feel like everything I do, my sister's moving my sister next weekend to her house. So it's going to be super interesting. But it's been very just fulfilling being able to help her in every single like corner we turn. It just feels like we're doing like I'm in the right spot right now. I'm just like able to make everything fall into place where it's supposed to go. So it just feels really good. I don't know if I really have it like a specific one. I haven't really been keeping up on the stuff. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Amazing. Amazing. Good. Well, who's coming? Okay, Catalina, how about you go next?
Sure. Number one, I'm not feeling well and my voice is compromised, just so you know. So um, I learned a lesson about chicken sausage pizza and pumpkin pie that didn't work down. Let's see, gluten and tomatoes and sugar and spices. Yeah, all the things I shouldn't eat, and I did. So, um, yeah. So I didn't get much sleep, and I was in what happens is I get severe acid reflux, and then I have to sleep sitting up. But the minute you go to sleep, you slide back down. So
Oh,
all night. So I'm very tired today. Big lesson. So um my wins are I got through last week with Stuart, and he sold his house, and so we got through escrow, we got all the paperwork done. Also a big week because I worked twice as much as I usually work. So, but that's all handled, but I'm now trying to figure out and then with the $1 million, I'm trying to figure out what the hell, where did I put everything? So it's like, I got through it, and it's like a little paper storm in here. So, um, and then, um, let's see. I had a new client on Saturday, and we're like sisters of another mother. We just clicked, and basically she was finishing my sentences and I was finishing hers. So that looks promising. I have an interview this afternoon with the real estate agent who handled the whole sale for Stuart, because she was impressed with how organized I was and everything that I provided and how timely, and that I was just on top of everything. And so she wants to talk to me about hiring me. So I don't know if it's for her real estate company or personal, but that's at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Right? I'm kind of overwhelmed by all of it because as an accountant, when you're trying to take on a new client, you still have all the workload of the old one. One's starting to go down, but I need to have the new one coming in, but I'm like double stacked at the moment. So,
Yeah.
it's a problem, but I'm pretty damn busy at the moment. So it'll all even out. So that's good.
So great to have a new client.
Yeah, well, onboarding is the hardest thing, because there's just so much work to get them into flow. So
Yeah.
it takes the most amount of time, the most amount of focus, and it's all brand new. So it's just, and you're still having to do everything else you're having to do with everybody else. So, and I did have one client call and they said, it's a friend of mine, and he goes, I really want you to do my payroll. And I said, I don't do payroll. And he goes, but you can. And I'm going like, wait, I know I can. So I'm really proud of myself. And I said, no, I'm not doing payroll, and he goes, well, how about if I call you in a few months and see if you've changed your mind? And I said, no, I'm not doing payroll. And I really got clear that I don't want to be locked down. Number one, I don't want to learn California payroll. It'd be completely new. I haven't done it in decades. I don't want to learn. I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't want to be his HR department. And I don't want to be locked down on my business to 2 times a month of having to be somewhere on the 5th and the 20th to do payroll.
Yeah.
So I went, okay, great. No, but he was very insistent. And he's going like, no, I want to give you the business. And I said, I'm not the right person. I'm not the right person.
Yeah. That's such a good lesson to all of us. Yeah. Just know, like, this is a beautiful world that we can be in when everyone's doing what we're good at and what we like doing, and saying no to the things that we don't. Like, give that to someone who just gets off on doing payroll, and let them do that and do what actually lights you up and that you enjoy doing. So that's a good lesson for all of us. I love that. Thank you, Carolina.
Yeah. And just, really looking at going like, in the past, I probably, because he's a friend, I probably would have said yes to help him.
Yeah.
My helper would come forward instead of my professional me that's going to provide a service that I can, really provide value to my clients, because that's my whole thing, is providing value. So I also changed that on my invoices. I did invoice yesterday, and at the bottom I put, it's been my pleasure to provide, or no, it's been my honor to provide service to you. How can I provide more value? Instead of what can I do to help you? So I'm looking to see where I have the words help, because I'm not here to help anybody.
Yeah.
I'm providing a service, and I'm providing value where it's going to, increase something in their business by having me on board. So
It's a higher frequency. Like, it's looking at the frequency of words, right? When you say, I'm going to help you, that's the frequency is you're in trouble, you're in pain, you're like, you have a problem, and support, assist, add value. That just has different frequencies. So being really really clear on like what we want to portray in the languaging that we use, right?
Yeah, and I noticed that, there was during the move, we had so many people saying, "Well, I just want to help him." And I'm going like, "You're in the frickin' way because you're not part of the team. You're not checking in with somebody. You're not figuring out, it's not helpless."
Yeah. Well, and if you look at like the drama triangle that we always talk about, whereas there's always a savior, a victim, and a perpetrator, it
Yeah.
puts the client into the drama triangle when you use the word help, because it's basically saying that you have a perpetrator and I'm going to be your savior.
Yep.
And so it's also just acknowledging that of like we're stepping out of that and seeing them as whole and complete, and in a space of like stepping into a up leveling rather
Yep.
than helping. So just back to that principle of the drama triangle, right?
Great. Thanks for reminding me of that, because it's like that totally was occurring in the middle of, because people were just like jumping in, but they
Yeah,
weren't in and getting information.
yeah. And we think, oh well, I'm the savior. I'm the one that helps. That's a good place to be. It's not. You're still in the fucking drama triangle, right? Like you don't actually want to be in there. So get out. Yeah,
So messy.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
They
Sorry, excuse my language. I've been at Burning Man. There's the language.
part of the team, so they don't get the acknowledgement and the appreciation that they need either. So it's just more of the same.
Mhm.
I could see there, and I went, yeah. No. Thank you for that lesson where I can see it over there, and then I can look and go, where's my behavior like that?
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Well, huge wins and way to go, and love having you on to share, celebrate Catalina, and you're rocking it. Brookie, everyone, I want all of you to take yourself off mute. This is my favorite things to do on Zoom because it sounds absolutely horrible, but it's kind of funny. We're all going to sing as loud as we can. Happy birthday, because it was her birthday yesterday. So
Happy birthday to you.
Hey,
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
dear Brookie. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that was fantastic, you guys. You sounded like a choir of angels. Thank you. That was
Oh,
hilarious.
so
Thank you. Yeah, I'm 45, which my husband reminded me I'm halfway to a right angle.
I like him, but I don't.
So, anyway, that was one of my wins for this week. My birthday was lovely, and I did set it up in a way that I was really proud of because I thought ahead of time what I'd really like to do. And I didn't have any problems just sending out an email to my husband and my 3 daughters saying, this is what I'd like to do this day, and the weather's going to be like this, so I'd like to go on a hike, and then I would really like a 15-minute massage from each of you, and I'd like to go Japanese food, and what else did we do that I just felt was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to do that day, and so it just worked out. So, we went biking on the bike share that's $9 a month for 2 hours a day to use the bike share. And so we went biking for 2 hours, Mike and I, and then we picked up the girls and we went to a bakery that has the most amazing sweets and bakery you'll ever see anywhere in the world. And we got 4 pieces of cake and we couldn't eat them. So we brought them home and we ate them for dinner and for breakfast. And then another win. And we went on the most amazing hike. I just have to tell you about this. It felt like we were in the Sound of Music. I'll send you a little picture on the WhatsApp, but it was absolutely beautiful because it's spring here and you're overlooking all of Santiago, which is 7 million people. But then you're up by the mountains with all the snow, overlooking the other side where the snow is. So it's just a beautiful place. So it was so happy making and lovely the whole day. And I was grateful. And then another one was I am gaining clarity from these worksheets. Oh my gosh, such important questions. And just to keep thinking what I want in this area and what in that area of my life. And I find myself ping ponging around and making different SMART goals, but it's all starting to glom together in terms of what I do want in having more energy and more presence and more health and um, and healthy interactions in my family with my family and friends. So it's all coming together so neat. This whole course has just been exactly what I needed. So thanks, Paige. And then my third win is our new apartment is so much better than our old one. It does not have mold on the walls. It does not have sticky floors. It has hot showers and lots of windows and lots of light. And every time I come home, I love being here. And it just reminded me of like, wow, our living spaces, it really does make a difference. And so I'm grateful for just the ability we have to live in a nice place and how it's affecting our lives and just makes me feel so much healthier and happier. So those are all wins that now we're here for the next 4 months in this apartment and in Santiago, in Chile, basically. We're not doing any big trips anymore and we're grounding down a little bit. So yeah, I'm loving it right
Oh
now.
man. See, 45 is going to be your best year yet, for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's do that.
You look so beautiful. Like the light in there, it just like lights you all up. It's so
Yeah,
great.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It feels so good. I've got a palm tree outside and we have no car this year and it's just like, oh wow, this is my chance to sort of, where I was afraid of what this was going to be like is now turning into a break and a refocus for me on what I want. And so, wow, I'm just so grateful that we that I had enough faith to make it happen with Mike and also that the girls are doing well. Like yeah. And then there's always knowledge that like life goes like, woo, and then something happens and sometimes it goes down again. But right now it's feeling good. So yay.
Welcome back into the good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's about freaking time.
Right? It's been like a long winter.
Yeah.
Spring, right?
Yeah.
It's like the spring of it. We go in with their seasons, and it's okay. It's okay that there are seasons, but enjoy the spring.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Jolene, you're next. Share with us your wins.
I like that piece about doing the season, coming through into another season. That's fun. Let's see. I went on a camping excursion out in the middle of desert nowhere.
Me too.
What?
Me too.
I know, you got to tell us your wins of the adventure from there. So I was in southern Nevada. I think you were up northern part California, right?
Nevada.
It is in Nevada, right?
Nevada, yeah.
So, and it was with two ladies. So you know Christine.
Yeah.
So I met Christine through the Legendary, about 4 years ago, and we've really kind of connected. And then another one she met Jen Phillips, and I don't know if you know Jen, but she lives by her. So anyway, the three of us together kind of to have an adventure. And it was really funny. We talked, 4 or 5 months ago, and I said, I've seen this place called Cathedral Gorge, and I really want to go there. And Jen's like, okay, I'll make reservations. Boom, boom, boom. So then we knew the time. And the piece of this that was so funny is we're going camping. I got online, I knew everything I needed, but then last Sunday, a week ago, or like Thursday, Friday that week, hey, do you guys want to get together just so we can talk out details? And I didn't know this in the background, but Jen, not knowing her, she had been on a spiral of some sort because there was no planning. And it was just really funny. And so the win that I took out of that is, because then she wanted to point at me and said, we didn't plan this. And I'm like, there was 3 of us. Any of us could have got on the phone and called. And so I took that, and that's what I said. This isn't one person's thing. We're all grown women, and any of us could have got on the phone and made that conversation. Yeah, you're right. And then I just stood in my presence. I just stood in all of it. That it was funny because it was almost like it was coming, like the pointing finger thing. And I went, yeah, no, we're all responsible. It is what it is. Anyway, with that, we ended up having a great weekend. And the biggest thing was her idea of camping, much different than my idea of camping. She literally cooked all 3 meals on the fire. And, we were just out to have fun and go hiking and different things like that. It turned out fun. It was just really fun. And so when we sat there and I actually, said, what do you need me to know about you? And she was like, that I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and so it was really fun. And it was just nice not to be able, or not to go into I think, like, as you started in the victimhood of, she's going to be mad, I'm trying to please her, I don't want to make this. And it was so nice not to do that. And we had fun. We had a great time. Another win on that was, as I was coming home, I chose to go a different direction and go through Great Basin National Park, which I've wanted to go forever and ever and ever. And I'm like, I don't have the time. I need to get home. I'm like, no, who am I hurrying to? This is my opportunity. So I went on a great hike, and yeah, I planned it a little differently, but now it's a place I want to go back and spend time. So honored myself in what I knew I could do in the time frame, and got home. And last night, as I got home, I just unpacked the car, and instead of dumping everything and I'll worry about it later, each item I brought in, I put it away in its own little place, and then went and got another one and did the same thing. And so I got in the shower, went to bed, and this morning there's nothing to worry about other than dirty laundry. But that's a different conversation. So to me, that was huge too, rather than just coming home and being exhausted, and you just kind of dump it on the floor and then worry about it next weekend. So the other one I'll pick is kind of with the same thing. I stayed true to me in what I needed. And hey, I'm going for a hike. Anybody wants to come will come. And Jen actually said, nope, I don't want to come. I want to sit at the fire. And so there was, really vocalizing what I wanted to do. And Christine decided she wanted to hike with me, and we had a great time and explored and climbed around and just had a great time, and went to bed, tired and exhausted, and it felt great. So those are going to be mine. I
love that. I love that so much. One thing that comes to mind is, like, what do you do when you're working with people that have, like, really strong opinions, strong needs? They really know what they want. And then also, as we're coming into this place of, like, knowing what we want more, right? Like, I know for myself, myself, I'm so used to just going, oh, well, they know what they want, so I'll go do what they want. And I don't even have like gain my own opinion. It's just like, oh, they obviously want that more than me, than what I want. And so there's a lot of like unconscious self-sacrifice. It's not even like me feeling like, okay, I'll give up what I want for that person. It's literally like I don't even know what I want, so I'm not. So as we get clarity on what is, I want to go hiking. That's what I want to get done today. That's what I want to do today. Then you come and then you come across people that also are clear on what they want. And how do we navigate this where we don't, the type of person that's like so clear on what they want, but they're abrasive about it, or they're like almost unyielding in it, so that it's more difficult to be in relationship with them. I don't know if that's my experience with certain people that are like really boundaried and really like, oh, I want this, and no, this is how it has to be, and it feels like they're kind of trying to protect themselves from the entire world. And so with a lot of like those really, I find myself being very fluid, right? It's like, oh, okay. And like just not taking on the blame, shame, guilt that a lot of times that's the frequency that they're in, of like a lot of fear. And so just not taking it on, but then also dancing in this game of it's just a lot. It's different than the game I used to play, which is I'll be so fluid that I just don't have opinions, to a place of asking for what I want and still being flexible in the dance, to being super clear on what I want and being immovable, right? So we're playing in all these different realms. But any thoughts, or I just want to kind of open up the conversation for that, because Jillian, I think you brought that up in a lot of ways of, someone will put blame on you, and then you go, oh, like I'm just not sticky to that. It's just that doesn't stick to me. It's like, oh, like I can see that could have been all of us. And she's like, oh yeah, that's true too, right? Unless you go into this whole, oh yeah, I totally should have done that, or what a jerk. Like now she's the perpetrator. If you go into the drama triangle and she's the perpetrator making you wrong, it's just like, oh, okay, like no, you're whole and complete, I'm whole and complete. We're both adults. So let's move forward. A lot of really great things that you brought up there, and I just want to jump in before we move into the other things. Catalina.
So along those same lines, I have another big win, and I want to say thank you, Paige, for teaching us AI. So I have a client, okay, and it's not going well, and they're a corporation and they're not adhering to the corporate laws and guidelines. And I thought I had to be sort of like this. I thought I had to be the one to fix it, which
Savior.
is, yeah, back to the savior, because I'm the professional and I know all this stuff. And then I went, no, wait a minute. I actually need to tell them what it is that's wrong and let them decide. And then I thought, okay, well, I've actually, when people hire me, I just fix everything. I just fix everything because I know it, 30 years, I know all this stuff. And then I went, this is not going to help me. This is not going to help them. So I used AI to do a checklist, and it's 15 pages long. That's how many things are out of integrity, that aren't right, that they're just going to have to fix. Now they can, and I thought, you know what? I've never done this. I've had the checklist in my mind and I go through it, but I've never actually like not taken on their responsibility in my business. I can do that at other places, but not there. It's like they're paying me and I take it all on. And I went, no, wait a minute. They don't even know I'm doing this. So I'm going to feel unappreciated, not acknowledged by telling them what I need and what I want. And then I'm going, I don't actually have a way to pick and choose what I want to do and what I have great strength in and great knowledge, and what they should just, they need a surgeon. I might be a surgical nurse. They're bleeding out and they need a surgeon. And I went, oh, I need to like I need to not make them wrong, and I need to not be the savior, but I need to like tell them so that they can make a decision for themselves, and then they can delegate and bring me in if they need me, or they can get whoever they need to get. But I thought I have the information. I've never just given them information like that.
Don't you think that's such a like a shift from savior drama triangle, like victim, and to into whole and complete? We
Yes.
do this in parenting too, right? We do this with friends. We do this in all the different realms of I'm going to go in and save you. I
Yeah.
know better. I can fix it. Or giving them the information saying, what's your choice? Like, where do you want to go with that? It's so beautiful. That's so powerful. And seeing the contrast, right? From
Yeah.
going in, and then what happens is then they become a perpetrator and you become a victim. So it's
Yes.
just a stupid dance that we just keep playing until we just get the heck out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Thank God for AI. I'm going like, because, I know this
Like
stuff.
15 pages of writing, right? But like AI writes it out for you, and then you just like go through and go add this, take that out, and it's done. It's like it's hundreds of hours that it saves you.
Yes, I was just dancing. I'm going like, thank you, Paige. You could have heard me at burning. You could have heard
I heard it. I was like, oh, Catalina's thanking me.
actually going to accomplish that. And because I thought, well, I'm going to have to go here, I'm going to have to write a report. This is not what I get paid for.
No.
And literally just a few minutes, I had the whole thing. And I didn't go in and edit it or anything else. I just printed the 15 pages out and I said, I know this is going to blow your mind. Go through and start asking me questions. Because I don't even know. I don't even know what they're going to pay attention to, what they're not. And I went, okay, if I started in on this, I wouldn't be starting in on where they're focused. That's not going to work either.
No.
So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I'm going like, what's my value? What do I actually provide?
Yeah.
Not
And what do I want? Like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Like, what do I want to spend my time on? What do even getting clarity on, like, they can look through that and go, oh, we only want you to do these things. But before you were doing all of them and
right.
feeling exhausted, right? So much clarity in that. And so cool to use the technology that's at our fingers. It's great.
Well, thank
Um,
you.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Anyone? Yeah, Amanda.
So I feel like I've been on the contrast over here. Well, first of all, I think I missed out on the AI class. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds like fun. So I want to like figure that out later.
Mm-hmm.
But I find myself in the morning when I'm trying to like do like a what, why, how for the day, and I've been very unsuccessful thus far because there's so many different aspects of the day. There's so many different aspects of the what do I want, and I like have a really hard time narrowing it down or prioritizing. I don't know, or maybe like picking like which ones. There's so many. I'm dealing with this aspect of me. I'm realizing my theme song that keeps on coming back around, like that random gum song that you don't want in your head, is scarcity of time. And so here I am trying to figure out my what, why, how, and I'm like, oh, there's not enough time to do everything I want. Oh, what about this? What about? And I'm like, I don't have time for this. Just don't do it. And so I'm just like really frustrating myself.
I can relate. This is so right on with what I've been experiencing too, to the point where I'm like, what do I want? I want to learn how to time bend. That would be good.
Or at least, yeah, not stress out on stupid things. And then to the point where it's just like literally doing exactly what I'm fearing. I'm wasting my time, not having enough time because I'm worried about time. And it's like this really just crazy, ironic circle that's like super dumb, but it's coming up in every aspect of like what I'm working on right now, right? Is just like, oh, well, that's because I'm, like with my kids, why am I having a hard time with what stage they're at? Because when I like travel back and figure out where it stems from, it's like always because I feel like I don't have enough time with them, like that scarcity of time over and over. So Help me.
Okay, so everyone take a deep breath. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to learn how to bend time by just tuning into your breath and getting crystal clear on what it feels like to be completely and totally present in this single moment. As soon as a thought comes of the future or of the past, just letting it go and tuning back into this moment now. Because in this moment, you have access to all wisdom. In this moment, you have access to the divine. In this moment, you have access to your breath. And as you just breathe into your heart, counting 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, notice how long 10 seconds can seem. When we're totally present, time is an illusion. The amount that you can get done in 30 seconds or 5 minutes is more than you can get done in an hour of being stuck in the past or the future. In total presence, you get to be in total love and faith and clarity. The actions that you do are precise and impactful when you're totally present. 5 or 10 minutes with a loved one in presence is like hours and hours, even days and weeks outside of presence. Time is simply an illusion. And our rush against time, that fear of the future, is in fact what robs us of our time. So go ahead and just take those deep breaths, 5 counts in and 5 counts out. Slowing down time. Allowing your mind to get clear on the one thing you're going to do in total presence after this class. The one thing that makes all the difference. And just see yourself doing that one thing in total presence with no thought of the future, no thought of the past. You may even put a timer on if you need to. You may see yourself having that timer on, and it may feel like hours, even though it's simply minutes. Because the truth is, time is just an illusion. When you're ready, put a smile on your face, wiggle your fingers and toes, and open your eyes.
Yes.
Yes! And the word is yes! Amanda, you're the cutest thing in the whole world. So what did you get out of that, Amanda?
Fear of future. I didn't really recognize that. It was always just a scarcity of time thought for me. But it's like, and why though? Because the fear of the future, fear like my kids won't be around, or fear of aging, or fear of, just like so many different things that as we get older come up in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
so
do
letting
rob
go of
us.
that fear and just stepping into total faith and love and presence. Like if you were able to come out of that fear of the future state of mind and drop right into like right now with your girls, you'd have no regrets in the future. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I was like so present with them. We were so connected. We were so like when they were talking to me, I was like there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in that space, there's no room for fear.
Yeah. Yes. True. And I think also too a thought that came up was that I feel some of it stems from growing up in the church and always being told like, oh, you know, the second coming is happening. We are of the latter days, and like this concept of the end, and this fear of like, are you ready for like this big judgment day, right? And so I think that there's a lot of stuff for me around that.
And it actually causes like a fear of the end or fear of the death, right? When if you could live a life of faith and presence and letting go of judgment and joy and creativity, like there would be no fear of the end. It would just be like such gratitude for the life that you got to experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it it creates it creates a lot of illusions that we can let go of when we just step into presence and faith and love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, even in like with sorry, brush really fast. Just like even in doing this recovering from the surgery, um, fear of the outcome. You know, like if I already knew the outcome, if I already knew that everything would go fine, that like yeah, this has been hard. Yeah, it's infected, but it'll look fine. It'll be fine at the end. It'll look, you know, it looks wonky at first, you know, and then so you have like you know like all these little meltdowns because you're like, well, what if it doesn't? What if my nipple falls off? I don't know. All these things, and it's just like if you knew or had complete faith that this is how it's going to turn out, period, no matter what, then the whole process of it is like so much more less complicated and hard to walk through.
Well, and if you think about it, and you think, oh my gosh, what if my nipple falls off and my nipple's going to fall off? And you've already lived that nightmare of the nipple falling off, and it hasn't even happened, right?
Right.
Like we're living the nightmares of our fears without them ever happening. So they haven't happened. They most likely won't happen because fear's a liar. And so why don't we just let go of it and live in the present moment right now and keep. And so the hack is breath. The hack to presence is breath,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just and if you need to like tap to like come into the body, drop out of the mind and into the heart, like tap and just go, oh, right here, right now. My nipple, I don't know if it's not gonna fall off, but like me living into that fear
Mm-hmm.
is worse than like it actually falling off, right? Like if it fell off and you were in total presence and love, like you'd be like, oh, I have, now I don't have to cover up the nipple when I don't wear a bra. Like this is great, right?
Go get a tattoo, pick it out how I want it.
Exactly. Like make it look amazing, like rainbow tattoo. I mean, it could be awesome. So like there's just all sorts of things where we go into worst case scenario. Now I've lived that in my mind when it hasn't even happened. It's just this, it's fascinating how we can do that. And people can live in that all day and never have a moment of presence in their entire day.
Yeah.
Right.
Does not sound fun.
In that meditation page, that was just the resounding idea was that this fear is such a robber of our present happiness in the moment. And I had a real example of this super quick. I'll just share. I don't know if I've told you about the moose on the loose. Did I tell you guys about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so Well, the sniper, there's a fake sniper that called the high school and said it was shooting at kids, and so our whole town went into panic, and the even the hospital went into lockdown and everything. But I happened to be at one of the schools, and I went into my daughter's school, and we were closing the blinds, and the kids were all lining up, and it was really scary in the moment, right? But we didn't quite know what was happening. And at one moment, this kid said, "Oh, is there a moose on the loose, or is what's happening?" And I said, "Oh yeah, there's a moose on the loose, so we're just shutting them. We're all in lockdown." In that moment, we didn't know if there was a moose on the loose or a sniper. Both of them could have been equally true, but because we chose to say the story to the kids of a moose was on the loose, then we had a completely different experience the rest of that day. And there were kids who didn't come to school for a whole week because they were traumatized with the potential idea of a sniper. So that's how powerful, like, our brains go to my nipple will fall off, and then what will I do? But our brains go to a sniper's shooting down a high school, but it didn't actually happen. And a lot of people lived that for the next month. And it
Are still
right
living it.
are still living it. So that was just a real example of like how our brains do that, and we can really choose like which one is going to help me feel better. The moose on the loose is definitely going to make me feel better. And so I'm going to choose into that until I know something different. Then we adjust, right? But yeah, so that's been my whole thing. Do I choose a moose on the loose, or do I choose a sniper? Which one do I choose? Okay, I'm going to go for the one that feels better to my brain and my body, my psyche.
Like we get to choose our thoughts. It's really that simple. It's and the power of doing that can change our entire experience. So just to go back to where I was last week was at Burning Man, and talk about an opportunity to choose, right? It's a total choose your own adventure. In fact, every hour of Burning Man has about 200 activities that you can choose from, and it's all free. And so they have classes on personal development. They have orgy domes. They have alcohol stations. They have, psychedelic conversations. They have art pieces all over the playa where you can go and explore. They have lectures, right? And so it's really like this kind of example in life where you get to choose your experience, and you get to choose what you're going to have, and people can go and have like 70,000 different experiences. And so what do you go into life asking for? And being really clear. Like I went in really wanting to be inspired by world leaders and by really successful entrepreneurs, and to meet phenomenal human beings that are doing really neat things in the world, and to learn from them. And that's what I found, right? And other people went in with very different intentions. And so one of the greatest talks that I heard, and Jolene, Clint, but I wanted to really bring this up because Clint did a couple presentations. I spoke on, I did a talk on meeting your highest self, and then we danced. And it was like an ecstatic dance of like kind of like embodying them and moving and like connecting with other people and as your highest self. And one of them, and then I spoke about women's rage, and we had this huge dome that could hold about 150 people, and we had different personal development seminars like the whole entire week, and we signed up for different ones that we could teach. And in there, this good friend of mine, and Gerald, who ran the camp, his brother, Clint Rogers, did a presentation. And it went along with what we're going over so perfectly, that the what, why, how, because he studied with ancient healer from India for about 10 years, and he followed him around, was very skeptical about what he was doing, but kind of just watched him do these really miraculous healings. And he actually had like more followers than Oprah. Like in India, his TV show had more watchers than Oprah. But this guy was really well known and worked with the Dalai Lama and with Mother Teresa and healed tigers and all sorts of things with this pulse healing that he does. But anyway, Clint learned this. And so he comes to Burning Man, and he just has a group of about 50 people that came to his talk. And he says, who's in pain right now? And he said, you can probably meet most anyone on the planet, and instead of saying, how are you, you can say, where's your pain? And they'll have a response. And he said, so who in here has above a level 4, a level 5, a level 6? So he chose the people that had level 8 or higher in pain. And he would have them come up and just do his, what he does, which is he has them squeeze their right pointer finger with their left hand and squeeze it 6 times and ask themselves, what do I want? And so just go ahead and do that yourself. Just squeeze your fingers 6 times and ask yourself, what do I want? And just the first thing that comes to mind, they would share it. And sometimes it's, I want to be pain-free. I want to be able to touch my toes. I want to be able to hold my grandchildren. I want to be able to, have freedom. One woman, she was in chronic back pain, had like upper back, a neck problem that hurt about level 8 or 9 every time she moved her neck. And she wanted to get to meet her soulmate, right? Like whatever it is, it comes up, and so you ask yourself that question and just keep that in your mind. And then he says, okay, so close your eyes and envision a screen, a white screen on your forehead, and just imagine the scene of you having that and embodying that and feeling that and seeing that. And do you see it? And they go, yeah. He goes, very good, very good. And he taps their head. Very good, very good, And so affirmation, right? Yes, yes, yes. You're on the right path. Positivity, optimism, visualization, so powerful, right? This is all things that we're doing in this mastermind. We're getting clear on what we want. We're visualizing. We're seeing what we're bringing in. And then we're celebrating. Yes, 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 yes. You can have that. You can do it. Yes, 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 right? Says yes, 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 yes. Very good, very good. And then he lays them down and he measures their belly button to their toes. And then it's off by a millimeter or an inch, whatever it is. And then he turns them over and he pushes on their back. He taps it in this weird way, rubs some stuff on it, turns them over, and their feet are aligned perfectly. And he has them stand up, and he has them, again, visualize. Do you see what you want? Yeah, very good, very good. And then he has them touch the ground with their hands. He has them visualize touching the ground with their hands. And then he has them do it. And miraculously, every single time, people would be reaching around their legs and holding their nose to their knees. They'd be touching their hands to the ground. They'd be better. And then he'd say, on a scale of 1 to 10, back to it was an 8 before, and where are you at? They'd always be a 2 or lower. And oftentimes, probably 80% of the time, it was 0. Totally 0. Miraculous healing, right? And then he'd have us all celebrate. And the whole room, the whole time, was involved in celebrating and visualizing, seeing that person and being excited about celebrating. But I just loved the concepts of this and how much we're doing this in this course. We're celebrating each other. We're visualizing. We're getting clear on what we want. And this is the secret. It's ancient secrets, right? To emotional healing, to creation, to seeing things happen first and then going out in the world and making it happen. And so that was just a really neat experience. I watched 2 different times him doing it, and probably the 10th time I've seen him do it. It was just another kind of reminder of like what we're doing here and how cool it is. So if you haven't read his book, it's Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. I know Jolene's, I'm sure, read it, but Brooke, you read it. It's a beautiful, like, talk about just inspiring faith in what's possible. But yeah, it was really beautiful. And I met this guy who is building like this temple down in Mexico, where all the world leaders are going to come and learn about indigenous healing methods and learn about how we can collaborate to create a new world. You know, like there were just really phenomenal humans that were down there that were real creators in the world, and I felt really, really grateful to be in that space of so much creativity, you know. So it was a huge win to be able to go, and I went in with a lot of like anxiety, and it was so hard to get there. And then once I arrived, it's like, oh, okay, like this is good. And we'd ride our bikes around and just be like, you're amazing, way to go, your past self made good choices to get you here. Like it was just so fun. And then there was a whole Cirque du Soleil thing that was they shipped in like Cirque du Soleil. They had water on the stage, like it was insane what they would have had to do to build that there. But anyway, the whole thing, it was called Pure Love. And the whole thing was this acrobatics and this whole concept of how to step into a new world of people showing up in love and gifting. Like the whole concept of Burning Man is everyone, it's like a gifting society where you give what's easy for you to give, and then other people give, and everything's free, you know, everyone gives a gift to the playa. And this was their gift, was this incredible, most amazing show I've ever seen. It was this Cirque du Soleil thing. But on it said Pure Love, and then at the end Gerald came and he's like, who ran the camp and is a really dear friend, and he said, Paige, we found your playa name. Your playa name is Pure Love. And everyone's like, Pure Love, that's Paige, you know. And so I got my playa name, which is Pure Love, which is really sweet. And so then I'm walking back, and this old man, like everyone's just so friendly there. This old man comes up to me, and I link my arm around him. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, what was your role in all that? And I go, well, they made that show for me. They produced that show for me. And he goes, oh, wow, thank you. And I'm like, you're welcome. So it's just so beautiful. And it's just so playful. Like every single person, like I was dancing with someone and he's just like, wow, you've got such beautiful eyes. I'm like, thank you. We start dancing. I like jump into his arms and we just like swing around for a while. I'm like, nice to meet you. He's like, you too. And see you later. Like, so anyway, it's just really fun.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine if the real world was like that? That'd be so amazing.
Honestly, it's like that in Legendary, right, Jolene? It's like that. Like, so I had this really sweet moment with Gerald where he was like, you know, Paige, like you and Maya Rose, which is his wife, are like the two people, I create this for you. Like you and Maya Rose are like the best at receiving what I have to give. And it makes me so inspired. Like I created this camp for you. I created this, you know, and I love to create for you. I love to do this. And I had this moment where I got to go to him and just go like, Gerald, so much of like what I love about myself is because of you and the experiences and the people in my life and the humans that are just like, I don't know, there's some people that you just have no idea what impact they have in your life. And it was really beautiful to receive that and to be able to tell him and to be able to just like, that whole experience was all because Gerald had a vision. When he first came to Burning Man, I was like, I want to do a camp. Now he has 150 people in a camp that are all collaborating and co-creating together. and learning to love each other, So it was really
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah, it's a really beautiful experience. So
Mm,
lots of deep connections and gratitude, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And now I came back, and a big one for me is I found a VA, a virtual assistant that's actually worked while I was at Burning Man and like loaded all of my interviews onto a podcast and like created a podcast for me of like all these things I've done and downloaded them into and like got stuff done while I was even gone at $5 an hour. So I'm like, he's in like, um, where is he again? He's in Pakistan.
Bang, but you said,
He's been, uh, I said the city that he's in. Islamabad. He's in
yeah,
Islamabad. I have like my own Aladdin, genie or something like that. Anyway, I love him. I love him. He's so great. He's like a engineer. He's brilliant. He's like, yeah, I can figure that out for you. So anyway, I have all these wonderful humans, and I'm growing a lot, and I can't wait until the retreat next week. So, any questions about the retreat before we hop off?
Oh, wait, I want to know, is it similar? Is it like another clarity retreat, or is this something different because of this thing we've been doing, or?
Yeah, it's more. We're gonna go into the language of emotions. That's the whole focus of it is taking all of this and then like stepping up our game and how we're showing up in the emotional realm and just understanding ourselves in a deeper way. So we're going to really kind of dive into like understanding the messages and then moving forward. So we're gonna yeah, it's like a themed clarity retreat, but the difference is we've done all this work, and so it's really like the building up of it and getting us to a whole new level so we can kind of like light speed move. But yeah, it's gonna be really good. Helen's been diving deep into all of that, and it's gonna be a really good space for that. And I'm making sure to include a hike this time, even though she's like, "We have so much to teach." I'm like, I'm putting my foot down. We're gonna do a hike. So if someone doesn't want to do a hike, they don't have to. They can stay back and do a session with Ellen, But for people that do want to, are gonna do that. And it's gonna be smaller. I haven't like promoted it a ton, so we just have the perfect amount of like a small group where we get to dive deep and play. So yeah, that'll be really
that's gonna be epically amazing. And you're
cool.
gonna embody the work.
Dana's taking your place, Brooke.
Oh, good. Okay, that's okay. I'll let her then. That sounds good. And you'll embody the all the stuff you're learning when you do the hike. So that's a really good idea. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wish I could be there, and I'm so glad you're doing it, and it sounds amazing. So can't wait to hear about it.
I'm telling you, every single retreat's been like this total, oh, just surrender. Like, just whatever, it's fine. Who cares? Nobody cares. We're just happy to be involved. Sure.
Hi.
Hey,
So,
gorgeous. How are you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Miss you, Paige.
oh, she said she misses you, Paige.
Oh, I miss you too. I want to see you soon.
So sweet. So I'm just so I don't even know what to do about it. That it's just like everything's planned. I'm just ready to go. I think I'll pack like 10 minutes before. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you have to throw some chaos in there. Just like it's too well planned. I'm not going to pack anything until 10 minutes before.
Very nice. I'm putting my foot down. Get some stuff.
Or maybe you could be present in the moment.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is one thing I actually want to bring this up because I think this is like such a secret to creation is, the idea of a circle and I love trampolines. Like I love how kids can spend hundreds of hours on trampolines and never get tired, right? But part of it is because it's a circle. And in a circle, like there's an unlimited amount of possibilities of games and ways of moving and ways of creating and that's how a circle is and that's how Burning Man's created. It's one big circle and the whole city is created like this and then all of this is the art, right? And so in a circle there's like unlimited possibilities for creation, but there is a boundary. And the boundary is like the masculine and then the feminine is within, right? And so when we have a masculine container, then the feminine can surrender. But if there's no boundaries, if there's no rules, if there's not, then it doesn't feel safe, and it's impossible to create it. And so in Burning Man, there's 7 principles, and there's rules. It's leave no trace, radical expression, gifting. Like there's all these different things that we hold, and so for 55 years, Burning Man has had a certain culture and a certain way of being, and everyone then goes in and knows how to that there are certain rules that we have to abide by. It's like even just respect. Like if this is the sign at Burning Man of a no, and if someone says no, it's a complete right. So everything's okay until someone does this, and then it's not okay. And so people can be walking around naked, and it's just like it's still a safe container. But if those rules aren't in place, then we can't. And so that's part of like looking at your life and seeing where do I want to create bigger and what's the container that I can create? What are the boundaries that I can create? Then I can just surrender into. So that's what we want to create at the retreat. But just this comes to mind, Amanda, because it's like we have to put these structures and it's all, but the more organized you are in, now you know when you're leaving, now you know how you're going to get there, then you get to just relax, right? We'll send out the packing list. I'll send it out today if I haven't sent it yet, because I always send a packing list, but then it's just like, oh, okay. You'll just put those things in 10 minutes and you can pack in 10 minutes because you have a structure. And then within that, it's like, ooh, what clothes or what bathing suit or whatever, right? There's all that to figure out. So anyway, just another tidbit. But Laura, it's good to see you. Can you quickly share your wins before we all hop off? I want to hear how you're doing.
I was trying to figure out how to unmute myself on my phone.
Hi.
Let's see. I had a wonderful weekend away with my family. So everything went really well, and we're having some progress with Everly sleeping. I'm just implementing like so many things. I really think the melatonin has done the biggest trick, but all the things are helping. She loves her little routine charts, and she goes, let's do our chart, and like runs and goes to get it. She's so excited. And this morning she goes, I slept in my bed all night, and she got so excited.
To celebrate, right?
Yeah.
So good.
She's so cute. And she'll go, you're proud of me? Yes, I'm proud of you. But I really was thinking, some of you didn't hear last week, but I had an opportunity to go on a date and kind of go again. And it was going really well. And then something happened on Friday, and I don't know how it all unraveled, but he showed a side of himself. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I was just able to not like without emotion, but like not let it affect me, not question myself at all in the situation, not question how I conducted myself, how I expressed myself. I just was like, no, I'm just being honest and true to myself. And now I'm just looking at it as it was practice, Catalina.
Amazing.
It was just practice.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I may have lost a client out of it. I don't know how that'll all work out, but maybe I'll get another one. So yeah, I just was really proud of myself for just not letting it affect me, and I'm not sad at all.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's huge. Oh my gosh. and just going like, oh, we're not a match, right?
Yeah.
Um, one of the talks I went to at Burning Man was this woman who's called Annie Lala. If you want to look her up on Instagram, she's really good. And she's a dating coach, and she's married to Evan Pagan, who's, if you know, he's a huge, huge name in the personal development space. Anyway, she was there, and she did a talk, but someone came up to her after and said, how do I meet my person? And she said, you just, every person that you interact with or go on a date with, or you treat them like they're writing a note and reporting back to your soulmate, like to your person, or they're writing a letter to his mother, and you're just like, he's getting a report, and it's just all up. And I loved the concept is just saying, stay in your business, right? It's like, play your game, treat everyone like they're a gift, and with the respect, and so you're proud of how you're showing up. And then and then she also said, what is your peacock, or what's the way that you show your feathers, and do that in public as often as possible, especially as a woman, because you're attracting, so you want to do things that like show off who you are, and let people let him find you, and so I thought those were two really cool tips that she gave. And but it makes me think of that, just like, you treated him well, and you also didn't take it personally, and you were like, oh, we're not a match. Like, not everyone's going to be a match, right? So it's not devastating that, like, oh, 1 out of the billions of people on the planet isn't a match. Just like, oh, okay, like, that just gave me the information I need to know that you're not my match. But like, thank you, It's so beautiful. Well done.
Yeah. I'm so glad I
Huge
got to jump
wins
on.
this week.
Huh?
Huge wins this week.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, our retreat's next week. I really have to get on the last few minutes.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. That's so great. Okay, one final thing I wanted to do is how was Kelsey? Did Kelsey teach last week?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna cut this part off and just send it to her as like a you rock kind of thing. So, how was Kelsey's class last week?
So good.
It was so
What were your biggest takeaways? Because I just want like the snippet of how it was and what you guys got from it. So.
Well, I'll share what I got. So she said, instead of like focusing on one particular thing, zoom out to the bigger picture. And so I could just hear her voice in my head all week long when I was like starting to drill down and get into the weeds and whatever. And then I'm going like, oh no, wait. What was it? Zoom out. And I'm going like, I don't even know what she means when she says that. But I thought, okay, fine. I don't have to know. I'll just zoom out and then go like, oh, what's the bigger thing here that's a part of?
That's huge.
It's so great. Simple little, just, move me forward in every single thing that I was doing.
That's so cool.
I want to get in the weeds a lot. I want to get not beneficial in every place.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. That's something I love those kind of little things that you can just walk with all through the week. Just walk with, zoom out. Okay. Oh, what if I zoomed out here? What if I zoomed out here? What if I zoomed out here? Yeah. It's super beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else want to just share your biggest takeaway from Kelsey's class? I was so grateful to her for doing that. I don't know.
Kelsey has such a intentional like demeanor when she's listening to you and talking to you, and the way that she would ask a clarifying question as we're working through, like, I'm still learning how to do this, and so she was really guiding that thought process, and she just did a really, really nice job with that. And we all learn from each other, like hearing what she's telling Catalina helps me too.
Yeah, that's the neat thing about learning the same information, but from someone else who's also mastered it. She spent years and years doing this. So I was really excited for her to be able to teach it in her way, right?
Mhm.
It's different, and she's very deliberate. Yeah, I love that.
Less energy for me. Spend less energy. And of course, my immediate reaction is I won't get anything done,
Mm.
which is my masculine production. I need to produce. And then she said, just spend less energy. And I went, so that was like the AI thing of like going like, okay, in my head, I have to do this and I want to do a really great job, but I'm not publishing a book. I'm just starting a conversation with another human being, and I'm going to overload them with topics to pick from. And what I just thought of what you said, Burning Man, there was 200 options. In those 15 pages, I gave them 15 pages of options to pick one and start with. But I spent less energy getting there because I wasn't trying to give them everything. I was just going to give them, here's a topic, here's a topic, here's a topic, show up, and then we'll figure out what it is you need to know or what questions. The other thing, and I don't know if this came out of this or just this week, is like I had a really great conversation with a friend about asking questions. She's not somebody who asks questions. She's terrified to ask questions. And I know from what she shared it from her childhood, she's not there yet. Not my job to tell her, but I just support her in asking questions. She's trying to go to college and she's got a brand new job. So it's our responsibility to ask every question. When someone asks us a question, it's our responsibility to decide whether to answer or not to stop them from asking questions. Like a
Well,
really,
I often say that quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions, right? So,
yeah,
like, stopping people from asking questions
can't,
is,
you can't control anybody in asking the question, but you don't have to answer every question asked. You get to decide, and then you get to decide, are you going to ask another question or are you going to actually answer that? If somebody says, how many people did you sleep with? I'm kind of going like, that is not your business. I don't have to answer that. And I don't even have to say it's not your business. I get to decide in the moment, like, why are you asking that?
yeah.
Like that. But it was like a really great interaction because she's been trying to get people to stop asking questions.
Wow.
And I went, oh, how's that working for you? And it wasn't. So I really, I took on, every question is up to me to decide whether or not to provide an answer or another question, or, I don't have to answer everything just arbitrarily. But as
Yeah.
children, we're taught to answer questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hard muscle.
Jolene, did you have something you wanted to share?
I was just going to say that was one of the things, a couple of things. Agree with Laura completely. I really enjoyed the way Kelsey listened and then restated back to hear that that is exactly what I was saying. She was really, really gentle and very good in that. And then the other, that was the big one that I wrote, Catalina, is, does the question deserve an answer? That was what so we talked about that quite a bit last week. So I thought that was great because it's like, and for me, the piece in that is the Allison Armstrong is listening. I was listening to someone last night, and it was like, just keep listening, just keep listening. What are you listening for? Because I was trying to hear what she was trying to say, and I just kept saying that, just keep listening, just keep listening. So I didn't interrupt her thought process, and to ask more questions to get clarification. Just keep listening, and what am I listening for? So
Yeah. And I think a cool question to ask is, what's a more quality question, right? We're looking for quality questions. Ask crappy questions, you'll get crappy answers, right? Why am I so stupid? Well, that doesn't even deserve a response, but the brain's going to answer it, right? So don't ask dumb questions, but ask quality questions. So if someone asks you a question like that, like, how many people have you slept with? To look for the quality question within that and go, I think what you're asking is how many people I've been really connected with, or how easily I'll have sex with someone, right? Or like, right? So we're looking just for the quality question within the questions people ask us sometimes, and that can be powerful too. Yeah, and really listening with curiosity rather than with judgment. Really powerful stuff, you guys. I love you so much. Thank you, Kelsey. If you watch this, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We'll still do the Tuesday, and then everyone will be getting on a plane or driving and making their way out here the next day or two. So it's gonna be good. Okay, reach out if you have any questions, and just love you so much.
Love you all. Thanks.